What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Here we are, 24 hours later, and I'm doing a video talking about how Di Maria has once again not given his commitment, his yes or his no. Is he going to become a Juventus player? What's going on with him? Is it time for Juve to move on? I'll give you my thoughts and opinions, but then we have the rest of the rundown. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's Sunday, June 19th, 2022. And of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the things you care about each and every day. Before we get into it though, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all the latest videos. Like I always try to say, and like I try to harp on guys, please go right now, hit that like button. It really does help our channel. You feed the algorithm, you feed the algo gods, all that. If you want to see our channel continue to grow and be successful, we appreciate that. As much as we try to give the content, its own worthwhileness. All right, before we do anything, though, I want to give a hearty Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there, and to also I expect to be receiving a Happy Father's Day recognition from all the people that we have sunned here on the channel, that have come in our chats and that we've dealt with. Anyway, we appreciate you guys as always. One more thing too. Let's dive into it real quick. I'm going to talk about the Di Maria situation, get it out of the way. It's not really a part of the news because we were expecting to hear something more. And really right now, there are no updates when it comes to Di Maria. One of the things I'm really frustrated with right now is the whole ongoing situation, how he's literally dragging Juventus out and continuing to do this. Supposedly there's a report that Di Maria has spoken with Max Allegri over the phone, but we have no updates there. There's no, yes, sir, I'm coming. There is no, sir, I'm not coming. I'm sorry. It's just, there's been a conversation. At this point, I think Juventus are getting drug on too long. I understand some people maybe are turning and saying, hey, it hasn't been that long. It's only whatever, June. I'm sorry, he's a free agent. Other guys are making making signings, getting the deals done, doing that within days, 4 days. I saw, there's so many deals that you can get done quickly. This is a free transfer. As I've said before, he does not want to come to Juventus. It's a last option for him. If you're Juve, why are we still wasting our time? Because I still don't think that the product that we're going to get out there from him, if he does come, is going to be worthwhile of all the nonsense and the drama. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in 3 months' time, I'm eating crow right here, and I'll be more than happy to do that. But at this point, I think we're just wasting our time. And then the management, or the Bene, Cherubini, whoever, we need to stop pussyfooting around and just tell him we're moving on. If you get stuck with nothing, and you have no team to go to except for some lesser quality, not Champions League level team, so be it. That's on you, my guy. This whole deal has been unprofessional, and I'm ready to move on. Let's get into the other news, though. That's it when it comes to Di Maria. Those are my comments. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Who's an option that Di Maria, if they don't get him, that they could be going for? Well, Juventus are, of course, looking at that of Kostic, Felipe Kostic. Patrick Berger with Sport 1 is reporting saying that Felipe Kostic agreed with Juventus on a 3-year deal with a net salary of 2.5 million euros. But the deal is not completed yet. Frankfurt and Juve are still negotiating. The demand is 20 million euros. Juve want to pay 12 million euros. 17 to 18 million euros could be the breakthrough. So it's all going to come down to, will Juve pay the 17 to 18, or is this going to be another situation where they agree to disagree and they're not going to, end up selling him? They'll have to wait out if they want him for another season or so. Something to keep an eye on, especially, but I'd imagine Juve will be willing to come to the table and pay the amount they need to pay if things really do break down with Di Maria. I think even though they're saying it's not really associated, I think there is some association there. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on there. Kostic is a good player, brings some good things to the table. Though, something to think about, though, is he is he'll be 30 years old starting the season. So it's not a young option. It's not a super long-term option, potentially. All right, let's continue moving on. Yesterday, we talked about the situation going on with Adrian Rabiot wanting out and that he could move on. Now we've got other players that are ready to move on and they're ready to get out of here. And that, of course, we're going to talk about Keane, Moise Kean, Luca Pellegrini, etc. Corriere dello Sport reporting saying that there is also Moise Kean on the way out, in which case work is being done to find a third interested club that could offer an escape route from Everton, who do not give discounts on the redemption nor open to formula changes, and then Luca Pellegrini, who wants to leave, unlike Alexandro, who aims to stay in Turin until his contract expires, while Juve would settle for little to get rid of his over 6 million euros in salary. The last part I'll touch on first because it's the most simple part. Unfortunately, it looks like you're going to lose out on Luca Pellegrini because Alexandro is not willing to make a move. You have to get rid of one of those guys to bring in a left back. The more appealing option, I think, to Juventus fans and to people alike would be that of Alexandro. I'm not saying that Luca Pellegrini is Juventus caliber. What I am saying is I think I'd rather have Luca Pellegrini if we had to have a backup option than that of Alexandro. But the issue is Alexandro makes 6 million euros in salary. He'd rather just wait it out, stay in his cushy life in Turin until he has to make a move next season. So it's something to keep an eye on. That's the way this continues to develop. When it comes to see Luca Pellegrini, he'll probably be the sacrificial lamb. And again, I'm not saying that he is the guy who's long-term is the solution for Juventus, but if it's up to me, I'd rather go get that left back and then have Luca Pellegrini be the backup than to be using Alexandro given his performance as of late. The first part, more as you can, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Juventus are going to get stuck paying whatever. They don't really have the upper hand when it comes to this, and we're working with Everton. So for right now, they're going to have to do whatever probably they have to do, probably purchase him for the full amount, and then they're going to have to try to sell him off somewhere else. Will it be, we've talked about options that are in the Premier League, but of course PSG could always come back to the table. Then it interests me, and I'm going to keep pushing it because I want him. Does that open up, the talks to bring in Raspadori to Juventus? So that's something to keep an eye on. All right, let's move on to another player that's trying to leave and trying to head on out, and that's Corriere dello Sports talking about Arthur and his situation, saying that he is the first in the list of transferable players. He would like to change clubs, but to complicate the whole thing, there are the costs imposed by the Maxi exchange with Miralem Pjanic and his super salary, which considerably reduces the opportunities on the market. As we said before, it's not super public, but what we do know is that €6 million evaluation is low. That's not exactly, he's making more than that at Juventus. I don't know what the full numbers are, but I think Romeo Gresti has kind of confirmed that as of lately. Also, they're going to say that Arsenal have been interested in him for months, which is kind of what we're hoping and banking on, but we'll see if they're willing to really pay the amount that they'll have to do to bring Arthur to the club. And Monaco have also taken a few steps. The Bianconeri do not exclude the hypothesis of a loan and not even that of the possible exchange with players. So something to keep an eye on. Couple options there for Archer. We talked about Gabriel obviously being an option if you do an exchange kind of deal there. But we'll see. There could be couple wrenches in there to actually getting him off the books. Back to Rabiot, who we talked about yesterday. We have an update there from Tutto Sport just saying that Rabiot has several admirers in England. Of course, we talked about Manchester United, Chelsea, and Newcastle. And they're all vigilant in the coming weeks, and we'll try to understand with Juve the margins of a maneuver for a possible negotiation. With 1 year to go, Juventus know that they cannot collect more than 15 to 20 million euros for Rabiot, which is fine. To me, I think that's fine. I understand. He's been a serviceable defensive midfielder. Anything else, anything on the attacking, anything trying to create anything like that, he ain't doing it for you. Rabiot does a lot to frustrate me. He's had a sparse handful of games that he's been serviceable. I think that's more than reasonable. You got him on a free when you signed him before, and it's just really trying to get those wages off the books. If you can get 15 million euros, honestly, I would take it at this point. Hopefully you get closer to 20, but at this point I'd be happy with even the lower sum there for Rabiot. So something to keep an eye on. We'll see even if any of those Premier League teams come to get him, or if PSG comes back to the table, which is an odd rumor that has been floated out as of late. Moving on, we talk about the left back position. We got to talk about who Juventus could go and end up getting in there. And Gazzetta dello Sport reporting saying that Cherubini is ready to make a move for Andrea Cambiaso. An appointment with Genoa is set for the first days of next week to try to beat off the competition from both Inter and Bologna. The Rosso Blu value the player at 7 to 8 million euros. Juve will try to sound out Genoa's willingness to consider counterparts. In the same role, Pellegrini is destined to leave. The agent Vincenzo Raiola is trying to bring an offer. Open talks with Fulham and West Ham. We talked about Fulham, West Ham. We talked about them before. That's probably where a decent option for them to end up going, for Pellegrini to end up going, because the Alexandro situation. Cambiaso would not be my first option, obviously. I definitely would push on the Udogi train. And also it sounds like, as of lately, that Allegri is really big on Emerson Palmieri. Out of my options here, I'd go, to me, I think it's pretty obvious. Udogi, then I'd be fine with Cambiaso in the middle there, and then Emerson Palmieri would be last, if I'm being honest. Hopefully Cambiaso can be a guy who can develop and become a better option there at the left back position. But as it stands right now, I don't understand why Juventus are not going full in on trying to push for Udogi and with Udinese. And I don't know, maybe again, maybe there could be some smoke and mirrors there by Juventus. Maybe we don't know all the absolute moves that they're making. And maybe there's some news reports that are getting floated out there to distract, to whatever. I know also Inter are interested in Bellanova, and I think they're trying to finalize that deal right now. Maybe that'll take them away from getting Andrea Cambiaso. But it's something to keep an eye on for now. We'll continue to watch as it develops. Again, if we can get Udogi, I would say get Udogi as soon as possible. All right, then we move on. Talk about this is a quick one we're going to hit on, and it's the situation going on with Torino, with them trying to sign Mandragora from Juventus. Tuttosport saying for the redemption of Mandragora by Torino, Juve cannot and will not go below the demand of 10.5 million euros, a threshold necessary to avoid a capital loss. The Granada club went as far as an offer of 8 million euros, in which must be added the 1.5 million already paid for the loan. And I'm trying to get clarification there because this is one of those translation issues. I'm guessing that means it must be an offer of 8 million over the 1.5 that they already paid on, or are they trying to say that'd be 6.5 million euros more that they would pay on that one? Either way, it's still not going to be enough, and Juventus are demanding that they pay 10.5 million euros. We'll see if they come back to the table and then get this one figured out. If it does end up causing a capital loss, then I can kind of understand. Otherwise, I would have been somewhat, when I say somewhat more open to the idea of 8 million. But if you're going to have a capital loss, you can't do that. So you have to work out a situation where they will end up paying. And also, you know what? It's Torino. Bleep them. Because they don't come to the table and help Juventus. They've done us no favors in the past. Why should Juve do them any sort of favor? So we'll see how that develops. We'll see if they can, get the extra 2.5 out of them that they're refusing to pay right now. Now the last bigger story of the day, and that is talking about Chiellini and the situation going on about his replacement. Obviously, he is now at LA Galaxy. Tuttosport's reporting saying that the most logical is it LA Galaxy or LAFC? There's two of them. I'm MLS. No offense. I'm American, but I don't care that much. Let's be honest. Anyway, Tuttosport's reporting that the most logical option, given the need to replace Giorgio Chiellini, is to bet on another absolute big name in the role, that of Kalidou Koulibaly. So far, the player has not expressed the will to renew his contract, which expires in a year. The tug of war with De Laurentiis, who is beginning to see the risk of losing the player for free in 12 months' time, continues. Napoli, in order to sell the player, immediately is demanding 40 million euros. The alternatives to the Senegalese defender are that of Arsenal's Gabriel, who we talked about earlier, talking about the situation with Arthur and how that could work out down the line, who's still a considerable cost. And then Fiorentina's Milinkovic and Barcelona's Lenglet, who has been proposed to the Bianconeri in recent weeks. One of the interesting pieces from this, obviously, I would be more than happy to see Juventus end up landing Koulibaly. I think he'd be a great option there to come back in, or to come into the club at the center back position. Will Juventus be willing to pay 40 million euros for a player? I don't know, especially given the way that the management likes to do business now. And then also there have been rumors as of late, within the last 12, 24 hours, basically saying something along the lines of, when it comes to Koulibaly, he has an understanding with Napoli, with De Laurentiis, whatever, that he will not go to Juventus. He will not go to a direct competitor or a quote-unquote rival. I want to say this seems like BS, and I'm not buying into it. I don't know if I fully believe that Koulibaly is a Napoli man, and that he's I don't think he's one of those guys. If Paulo Dybala, which we know was a snake all along, is willing to go to Inter, why wouldn't Koulibaly be willing to go to Juve? And also, nothing really says to me, outside of me saying that I have a hard time seeing De Laurentiis want to do any kind of real deal to help Juventus. Nothing has said, I've never seen any kind of just complete shutdown from him to say, no, I wouldn't come to the table to talk. It just sounds like we want our 40 million euros. Now, it's up to Juventus to decide, is this the amount of money that's worth it? Are you able to get them to angle it down a little bit, 35, 30, something like that. I have my doubts given who they're working with, but that's something to keep an eye on there, because I think if all parties are willing to come to the table, why the hell not? Why not go after a player like this? I think that would be I think it would be a fantastic get in the Mercado. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for the news today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about the players Juventus are potentially looking at getting, who they're interested in, as well as the situation that continues to drag on with Di Maria? It's supposed to be over by today. Did it potentially maybe anything break while I was away, while I was doing this video? I doubt it, but we'll see. If so, we'll definitely be going live as soon as that news comes out. We'll find out one way or the other. So stick with us, and we'll keep you covered every step of the way. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. If you have, and also make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter, and of course follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.